The stars of the show make it even more intriguing because they are somewhat authentic in their roles. Caitriona Balfe is Irish and Sam Heughan is Scottish. Not interchangeable, but similar. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are we doing? I like your Scottish accent.
Oh, it was not really that good, but I've been to Ireland and Scotland, and it's funny when you go there. Oh, actually, I went to Dunkeld, which, was founded by Duncan, and I felt like I was home. It was my town. But
Dunkeld's beautiful. We've shot there many times. Yeah.
Yeah, both countries are amazing. All right, Caitriona, born in Dublin, you're the fourth of 5 children. When did you first get interested in acting?
Oh God, I was one of those annoying little children that wanted to do it from a very young age. I think I started doing youth theater when I was about 7 or something. So yeah, it was a lifelong passion. I took a detour for a while, but it was always what it was meant.
But you say took a detour for a while. There are lots of lessons to be learned. Sometimes we think we know exactly what we want to do, and we put our blinders on, and we don't recognize other opportunities. You ran into another opportunity because you were scouted to become a model, and you were considered as Ireland's first supermodel.
Oh, was I? I was very lucky. I had an amazing time doing that for about 8-9 years. But I think acting was always my first love and my passion, and I'm glad I found my way back to it.
Yeah, acting is a great passion, but when you did the modeling, you did it big. Victoria's Secret model, you walked for Chanel, Givenchy, Louis Vuitton. You did the best of the best, Victoria's Secret as well. All right, Sam from Scotland, when did you first get interested in acting?
Scotland's first supermodel.
Yeah,
were you Scotland's first?
I was, yeah. I did it all.
Could have been. Look at you. All right, when did you first get interested in acting?
I was always interested. I wasn't one of those, people that knew I could do it. I did a lot of traveling, and then thought I'd try my hand at youth theatre, and was very lucky that I was cast in some plays. So theatre is really where I started, and worked for many years in Scottish theatre and touring theatre around the UK and a little bit in the US. But yeah, I guess that's where the passion came from, and I'd love to go back to the stage one day.
Yeah. Where did your name come from? Why did your parents name you this?
Sam. It's I mean, there's a story. I guess my parents were kind of into Lord of the Rings. My brother is named after one of the elves in Lord of the Rings. Take from that what you will. But yes, Sam is easy to remember, isn't it?
You're very wise, aren't you?
Not really, no.
Samwise. Yes, Samwise Gamgee. Yeah, we actually had Sean.
There you go.
Yeah,
there's my wig.
Bringing it together. Bringing it together, yes. All right.
That isn't actually me.
We actually had Sean Astin, who played Sam in The Lord of the Rings on the show. Okay, the Outlander series. It is one of those things that you sit down and you got to dive into because there's so many twists and turns to it. For people who are not familiar with it, explain to them the basic premise. Something happened to me.
Oh wow. Well, it's about a nurse in the 1940s who is in Scotland on a second honeymoon kind of thing, and goes traveling back in time and meets this incredible dashing Highlander
who's not a supermodel.
Who's not yet a supermodel, Jamie Fraser. And they fall head over heels in love, and it is something that is metaphysical, and their love spans time and place, and it's about how a marriage works, really, through the markers of these great historical events that take us all the way up to the American Revolution, where we are now.
Yeah. So your character is Claire, and then Jamie, you are the dashing, or Sam, you're the dashing Jamie.
Yes. I guess dashing is a good word for him. But no, yeah, it is something metaphysical, as Caitriona said, and as we get to the War of Independence, we've been all through history together, and they've been fighting to stay together and not only protect each other but also their extended family. So this season is a big one. There's a lot that happens, and I think the fans are going to be really excited to see what happens.
Yeah, it's interesting to look at. When we take history in classes, a lot of times we do it as a chore, but this brings history to life. And it's what's fun is when you watch it and you see these little things and discoveries. Like Claire, there's one moment where you say, "I'm glad I paid attention to history, or paid attention to certain things," because you go back into time and you know, like in a health situation, you know what works. Like you're like, I've been vaccinated against that thing that people didn't know about at the time. And it gets kind of twisted, but it's cool to watch how that happens. Because I think we all have said, if we knew then what we know now, and if all had this fantasy, if we went back into time, what we would know.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the great storytelling parts of this. You know, we have Claire, who is a woman out of time, and we can all relate to her, and sort of the audience sees this world through her eyes. But what's really great, especially this season, is we have so many of these real historical figures that we come into contact with. And I think it's one of the really fun things that we get to weave this story around real historical events. And, you know, we have things that sort of reflect a lot of what we're going through ourselves. You know, there's outbreaks, whether it's kind of like what we've just gone through in the pandemic, or all of these things, you know, things that we can relate to. I think history is there for us to learn from, and also for us to kind of see ourselves and try not to repeat the same mistakes. And that's something that's really great about historical shows.
Yeah. Will Claire shut down the bubonic plague? I'm waiting to see if that happens. All right. We have a number of young people in our audience today. And in Houston, we have a really great theater community. And, you know, students always ask us, what can I do, you know, to make it in this business? So I'm going to ask you first, Sam, what best advice do you have for young people wanting to be you two?
Yeah, I would say, you know, I'd encourage you to get as much experience as you can, to go see as much as you can, learn about the industry, go to many plays, watch many movies. Just immerse yourself, and keep reading, keep watching, and good luck. You know, it's a great career when it happens, but it's also, you know, it can be difficult. So I wish them all the very best, and hopefully we'll be watching them on the screen.
All right, Caitriona.
Well, as somebody who took a detour, you know, I think everything that Sam said is true. But I would also say, you know, there's always time, and live your life and make sure to experience life, and don't put pressure on yourself that it needs to happen immediately. You know, I always say it's a marathon, not a sprint. And it's important to, you know, experience life, because that's what we're trying to reflect back. Yeah. So
you're right. I was going to be a supermodel. I decided to be a talk show host instead. So you two, thank you so much for joining us this morning, and we look forward to the new season.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us.
All right. Outlander Season 7 premieres Friday, June 16th on Starz. For more information, visit greatdayhouston.com.